All right, guys, we're back for another episode of Cogni-Thrive, Dementia is Not Definite podcast. How are you, Jude?
Doing great. I'm a little thirsty. How are you?
Well, that's good because we're going to be talking about dehydration today, right?
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Cogni-Thrive podcast, where we help you understand the signs of early cognitive decline and the many ways available to keep your brain healthy. Judi Pritchard is a certified cognitive coach with more than 30 years of experience, and her company, Cogni-Thrive, provides comprehensive tools to support cognitive resilience as you age. Join Judi and her husband Philip as they continue to spread the message that dementia is not definite.
So this podcast, we're going to talk all about dehydration and the importance of water. And this is thanks to a new listener in Missouri who wrote into us and asked the question, tell me about dehydration and how it can impact the brain and can it cause dementia? And the real short answer is in prolonged cases of dehydration, it can absolutely cause dementia. My first jaunt into this, when we very first started Care and Thrive, my first client loved to golf. And we're in the South, we're in Alabama, and you guys know how hot it gets here. Well, he was still enjoying golf, even though he was diagnosed with early onset dementia, and he was still very active, even with the diagnosis. I mean, that's what we're all about, is teaching you how to continue doing what you want to do. And he was out on the golf course and played 18 holes and didn't drink enough. And when he was aware enough to recognize it in himself, because we had talked about this beforehand, so that when he got ready to leave, he felt like he was having so much brain fog, he didn't want to drive. And so proactively, he talked to his buddies and said, can someone give me a ride home?
Right.
Great. That's a win. That's a huge win for us.
Yeah.
In that he was able to do what he wanted, and he recognized changes that his brain was having. He didn't quite tie it all together with dehydration. We talked about that later. But that was a prime example of how even subtle changes in your brain subtle changes in your hydration level are impacted in your brain. And so I did a little more research on this. I'm going to.
Of course you did.
So our body's made up of about 60% water. Our brains are made up of about 75% water.
Okay.
So larger portion in our brains. And even they said a 1 to 2% change in your hydration level can lead to brain fog in your day.
Wow.
And that can happen throughout the course of the day. So in the afternoon.
Yep.
So in the afternoon when you're feeling tired, what's your first instinct of what you want to do?
Coffee. Coffee or caffeine in general.
Yeah. And that's usually our go-to. Oh, I need a little caffeine. Well, here's a fun fact. The caffeine is actually a diuretic. And you may be feeling tired because your brain is needing more water.
Right.
And you're doing quite the opposite.
But there's water in coffee.
That's your typical answer.
I know it is, yeah.
But instead, grab a bottle of water. Drink some water. And I know you, because I know that's not your favorite thing.
I just don't stop to drink anything many times. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'll go from 10 in the morning until 4 o'clock and never drink anything.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get better.
And how many days or how often do you feel like in the afternoons you're tired?
Oh yeah, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, by 2 or 3 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So fun fact, we're going to go off into science for a minute. I love it. So what's happening in your brain, there's an area called thalamus. The thalamus is your main relay station. So it takes in sensory and motor inputs, how you're feeling, what you're seeing, everything but smell. It doesn't do smell. And also motor inputs, and it helps sorts it. It sorts it into different storage areas for your memory. Your thalamus is impacted even with that 1 to 2% change in hydration because it also controls sleepiness and wakefulness.
Interesting.
Ding, ding, ding.
That makes sense.
Ding, ding, ding. So the next time you get tired in the afternoon, I want you to stop and think about, my thalamus needs water.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to tell people that. That would be great.
Well, 90% of the time I'm sitting by myself in front of a computer when I think this. But so can you set like my Apple Watch reminds me, stand up, you need to move it. And I wonder if you can set it to tell you to drink water.
I don't know. I think you should research that and let
I
us
think
know.
I will, because that would be cool. Because
or if you guys know, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever just stop and go, wow, I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
And it's just like with heat exhaustion, heat stroke, if you are thirsty, it's already too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
So by the time you get thirsty, you're already past the point of when you should have been drinking water way before that. So.
Yeah. So, and when you have some dehydration coming in, again, even 1% to 2% can cause you to be moodier. Mm-hmm. So if you're grumpy, or if your spouse is grumpy, or your partner's grumpy, hand them a bottle of water.
Don't tell them why. Just say, here, why don't you drink this?
But here's the other thing that's really interesting. It even can mess up how you see things. And so when I was a therapist in nursing homes, we would see this later in the day, and in the evening time, we had many more falls.
Interesting.
Because they may not be visually seeing the depth perception, or they may not be seeing things on the ground, or if they have sundowning creeping in too, what they're seeing may be altered and so what we really need to be doing is giving more hydration consistently through the day, and we need to do this as well.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, dehydration can lead to dementia.
It's like not the direct thing, but it's just another one of those things that piles on. Right?
Yes. And if you already are diagnosed with a cognitive decline and you're not drinking enough through the day, it could also be making your sundowning experience worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need to continue doing the rehydration. So what actually happens in your brain, again, going back to science. So not only is your thalamus being impacted, but your cells actually shrink when they don't have enough water. And when your cells shrink, the brain, it's not able to function well enough to clean out toxins. And what happens when we don't clean out toxins in our brain?
They just build up.
It builds up like plaque, like we talk about with plaque. So when your toxins are building up,
They're becoming old and wise toxins. We don't want them to become old and wise toxins.
No. So when your toxins are building in your brain, it decreases your brain's function, grows into plaque, and leads us over that summit into dementia.
Gotcha.
So in our age, like younger people, I still refer to us as younger people.
We're still younger people.
Yes, we are. We are still younger people. Muscles contain more water.
Right.
So it's more like if you think about a storage area of water for us. So it takes a little more for us to get dehydrated. As people age, muscle can be lost. And when they don't have as much muscle, they aren't able to store as much water.
Gotcha.
So they're hit by dehydration sooner.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they need to drink more often, not necessarily more volume, but constantly, all the time, just keeping your body hydrated. Yeah,
both. It may take them more water to become hydrated because they lose it a lot faster because they don't have that storage in their body.
Right.
Yeah. And then, and so then if they haven't built up a resilient brain, so they haven't been working and exercising their brain all along, it's going to be even more impacted by dehydration. So it's going to lead to more confusion, or it's going to lead to more wandering. It's going to lead to more problems associated with a cognitive decline. So thank you so much to our friend in Missouri for bringing up this question. And remember this, guys, just like Phil was saying, so if your watch is already reminding you to get up, just add in your mind a thought of, hey, my thalamus needs more water.
Or, sticky notes. We use sticky notes all the time. Just put a sticky note that says water. Drink, right?
I like the idea of the reminder better because after a while, if that sticky note
just
stays there, you don't see it any longer.
Yeah.
So, use
I just
a
take
reminder.
my watch off when it reminds me too much, too.
Louise. That's not good either.
Yeah, it'll be like, stand up. I'm like, no, you stand up. I'm doing something. I just take it off.
I'm going to send you a little brain thalamus telling you, I need
Okay.
water. I need water. Help me. Help me. I need water.
I need to just walk around with like a liquid IV pack connected to me, and it's just a constant thing. I know, but you girls and those big old Stanley Cup things, I mean, that's just not very manly if I come walking in with my purple Stanley
Lord
Cup.
of mercy. But that thalamus needs more water. So anyway,
okay.
And with getting back to the resilience, what studies have actually shown is that by doing cognitive tasks in different age groups, they're seeing people that are dehydrated and older in age are actually working harder to do the basic cognitive tasks. And so that's where it's, all joking aside, that's where it's really important, no matter what age you are, to not always go to caffeine when you're feeling thirsty or feeling tired, but go to water first. Go
Right.
to hydrating liquids first.
Yeah.
If you work outside in the heat, you may go to one of those sports drinks that looks at all your electrolytes and
Yeah.
replenishes your electrolytes, because it's critically important, not only for your body and for the way you feel, but to keep your brain healthy. We only have one brain.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, there's not a brain transplant program out there in the world.
Not yet.
No,
Not yet.
no. And so you only get once. There's no dress rehearsal. We have one brain. We have to take care of it. And the best way we can do that day in and day out, if you're feeling tired, is not with caffeine. It's with water.
As I drink my coffee.
Coffee's not all bad.
Coffee's not all bad. It has its
You
place.
just have to balance it with water.
That's right. And I have actually been doing better than that. I'm doing better. I'm slowly taking everything you tell me and putting it into place, slowly but surely.
That's good, because I want you to stick around.
I know. I want to stick around. It's a good time. So, what else about hydration that we need to know? You mentioned the sports drinks. So I've heard, is if you had to choose between water and a sports drink,
Yeah.
is there one that's better than the other, or you're going to get the same benefits out of it?
I think you need to look at your sports drink that you're drinking.
Okay.
Because a lot of them are looking at electrolytes and sodium replenishment that we lose through sweating.
Right.
So if I'm not sweating,
Yeah.
and I'm drinking more sports drinks or those electrolyte replenishing drinks, I may not need it.
Gotcha.
So I may be putting more effects into my body, more chemicals into my body, or even if they're natural things like sodium. I don't want too much, because it's going to also lead to other problems.
Gotcha.
So
when in doubt, just drink water.
drink water.
Just drink water.
Yeah, just like with all the diet stuff. When in doubt, go with I can't talk. Go with plant-based foods and options that are more natural. The more natural we are, the better it is for your body.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Great information as always. Thanks to our new listener. We hope you are enjoying listening to these podcasts. We really have a lot of people that tell us they are listening to these and getting information, and that's what it's all about. We just want to keep sharing it. The
Keep you
information.
well.
Yeah, the information pretty much, it doesn't change a whole lot. There's new stuff that comes out to just basically reiterate everything Judi has been talking about, which is even more so what we need to do. Keep the message going.
Yeah, we only have one brain.
That's right.
We got to protect it.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all next time. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Care and Thrive, and check out our website.
Help share the message, guys.
All
Thanks
right.
so much.
Thanks. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, and remember, we are not physicians, and you should always consult your doctor about what treatment is best for you. Please visit www.cogni-thrive.com to learn more about our services or to book Judi to speak at your next event.